mbaniriza nnyo ku NTV olwaleero ennaku z'omwezi lya 20 omwezi ogwokutaano. Eno ye NTV ku Saawa Emu nange Farida Nakazibwe. Olwaleero Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago ayinza okulwawo okulwerabira olw'engeri gy'ayisiddwamu poliisi ebadde mu kugira okwogerako eri abantu ababadde basengulwa. Lukwago asikiddwa ebitogi n'atwalibwa nga n'ennabugiise mufungize nga bwe tugenda okulaga. Lukwago agambibwa okufuula ensonga y'okusengula abantu bano ey'ebyobufuzi ekyaviirako n'abantu bano okulemera mu kifo ekyo wadde nga kkooti yali ebalagidde bakyamuke. Ago n'amalala amangi togasubwa gino gy'emitwe emikulu. Lord Mayor Lukwago bamututte talinnya abadde yeeyingiza mu by'okusengula abantu ku paaka ya loole. Obubbi emuyenga 7 bakwatiddwa mulimu n'eyali omuyeekera wa LRA. Okugezesa eddagala erigema siriimu kutandise mu Uganda. Obuwanguzi bwa Chelsea omugagga Abramovich yanditenguka omutima Di Matteo namuwa omulimu. Eweze emu yennyini nkwaniriza nnyo ku NTV ku Saawa Emu. Abavuzi b'ebimotoka biroole ne ttipa ababadde balemedde mu kifo ekimanyiddwa nga Kalitunsi okuliraana essaawa ya Queen enkyaleero bafuumuddwa kisobozesa nnannyini kyo okukikulaakulanya. Okumala emyaka 4 yagula ettaka lino abadde yeezooba n'abantu bano okuvaawo naye ne beerema wadde nga yabagulira ekifo ekirala bwe baba bakolera emirimu gyabwe. Poliisi ekedde kuyibwa mu kifo kino kati ekikubiddwako ebibaati okulaba nga tewali yakola fujjo. Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago yalozeza ku bukambwe bwa poliisi bw'abadde agenze okuziyiza ababadde bakikoleramu okukyamuka.
Bw'atyo Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago bw'atwaliddwa nga kakaabanga enjogera y'ennaku zino bw'egamba bw'abadde agenze ku paaka ya loole mu Kalitunsi okulaba ebibadde bigenda mu maaso.
You said you have no fuel. Can I escort you? Up to your office.
Poliisi yayiiriddwa mu bungi okusobozesa bawannyondo ba kkooti okumenya obuyumba buno ssaako n'okugoba abo ababadde bakyesisigiriza mu kifo kino kye baalagirwa edda okuvaamu.
Si muntu kinoomu nti ya planningira ekibuga najja naganze mbajjuludde wano nja kubatwala wali biina kuyita mu planning process eyaffe kate binayitayo tewali na wamu kati nze mbagambe nti bagendewa mbagambe bugambe nti mukeere ababadde bakola olwaleero temukyalina kukola.
Poliisi tuna kibishe kibakoze wano era tebakubye muntu yadde mboko era wendi sityagas tekubwa wendi tyagas tekola ki tekubwa bantu bajjayo bintu mu mirembe balaba.
Lukwago oluvannyuma ateereddwa mu mmotoka ya poliisi okumuzzaayo ewuwe oluvannyuma lw'okumugaana okwogerako eri abantu nga bw'abadde agamba nti eky'okubasengula tekibadde mu mateeka. Kasimu Sesimba nga yennyini kifo kino yabawa ebbanga okutuuka mwezi gw'okusatu nga bavuddewo era nga yabagulira ekifo ekirala Lweza we bayinza okudda wabula baagaanayo. Moses Kirunda nga yakuliddemu bawannyondo ba kkooti okumenya ekifo kino agambye nti kkooti yalagira dda abantu bano okwamuka ekifo kino era nga baasazeewo okukikola olwaleero ng'abantu si bangi nnyo.
Ekifo kya Kasimu Sesimba kati yabagamba bagira bakolerawo temporary yanabanga agala okukozesa ekifo kye ajja kubagamba baveewo naye babadde bajemeddewo kwe kubatwala mu kooti musango ne gubasinga nabagamba bakole ki baveewo.
Wabula ababadde bakolera mu kifo kino bategeezezza ng'abakulembeze baabwe bwe babaliddemu olukwe ne basalawo okubatunda nga tebamanyi.
Batwala abantu bitaano
tulina amaanyi gano masini yaliyo ka milioni 600
ebyese tutwala wabagala batujje mu nsi bo bafune bajje batuteeka batusule mu ddu.
Polisi erinyiridde nnyo eddembe ly'abantu erinyiridde nnyo yakwagira ku mulamwa.
Okuva mu mwaka gwa 2008 ng'abakozi abakolera mu kifo kino beezooba n'agambibwa okuba nnyini kyo Kasimu Sesimba kwani alina okubeerawo kyaddaaki olwaleero abasinzizza amaanyi bw'abayiridde bawannyondo ba kkooti wamu ne poliisi okusobola obbagumbululawo yakolerawo bye yeetaaga. Enkaayana z'ekifo kino zajjamu ebyobufuzi era Lord Mayor wa Kampala yatuukako mu kifo kino mu sabbiiti eno n'agumya abakolerawo nga bwe bagenda okukola kyonna ekisoboka okulaba nga tebava mu kifo kino kyokka ate ye mukyala Alice Muwanguzi ono nga ye Resident City Commissioner wa Kampala yawa abantu bano amagezi okuvaawo mu sabbiiti emu naye ne bagaanirawo. Dini Lubowa Sava, NTV ku Saawa Emu.
Webale nnyo Dean Lubowa Sava. Musajja wa Koni Dennis Opio y'omu ku bakwatiddwa e Muyenga ng'agambibwawo okwenyigira mu bubbi bwa mmotoka. Ono akwatiddwa n'abantu abalala 6 okuli n'abasuubuzi b'ewa Kiseka ababadde bagula ebyuma ebibbe. Abantu ba bulijjo e Muyenga nga bakolaganira wamu ne poliisi mu nkola eya community policing bebekozemu omulimu okukwata abantu bano.
We are human beings. Do you hear? So don't fear, you just be calm. Easy, take it easy.
They take me there when I was like this in the bush. Yeah. So they take us there to training 1 year.
Just be calm. Calm down.
Omukyalo ono bw'ati bagezaako okugumya Dennis Opio agambibwa okuba nga y'omu ku bakwatiddwa mu bubbi bw'emmotoka e Muyenga. Opio akkiriza nti yaliko omusajja wa Kkonyi nga yawambibwa akyali mwana muto kyokka nga oluvannyuma asobola okwesimatula n'adduka. Agamba nti addukira wamwannyina e Kampala kyokka n'ati okweyanjula mu bw'obuyinza nti ayinza okuttibwa. Abantu mu kitundu kino bagamba nti Opio n'abantu abalala 3 babadde bafuusemu mu bubbi.
Tumaze ebbanga ddene nnyo nga tubonaabona wano e Muyenga abatuuze oluusi balowooza poliisi n'abeerosi beenyigira mu buki mu bumenyi bw'amateeka buno abamenyi amateeka babamanyi naye kituyambye nnyo nti abantu bano baleeteddwa wano buli omu abalabyeko tuba tubawulira buwulizi nti niga waliwo gwe bayita niga naye leero nange mulabyeko abo bavunaanibwe ababbira ddala ebintu by'abantu.
Bo abalala 3 nga basuubuzi bwa Kiseka era nga bakkiriza nti bagula ebibbe basabye ekisonyi oluvannyuma lw'okukkiriza okusasula bannannyini ebyuma bya mmotoka bye babba wabulayo poliisi erina endowooza ndala.
We didn't know that we were buying stolen things. And please, on their behalf, Bosca and Muwonge, please just forgive us.
Era mu butuufu oyo niga siragira naye nsaba poliisi balemu omulerizinga kuba aina group. He is not alone. Even if they are going to charge him civil, but I think he's also a criminal.
To our version, we really feel these people have to be what? They have to be taken to court, especially the key vandalizers.
Bino nno bibala by'enkola ya community policing eyagunjibwa poliisi n'abantu ababulijjo mu kitundu kino mu bakolaganira awamu okulwanyisa ebikolwa eby'obumenyi bw'amateeka.
NTV ku Saawa Emu ogezesa eddagala erigema akawuka ka mukenenya kutandise wano mu Uganda nga kukolebwa aba Makerere University Walter Reed Project wamu n'amawanga amalala omuli Kenya ne Tanzania. Uganda yemu ku nsi mu Africa ezasookera ddala okunoonyereza kuno n'aba Joint Clinical Research Center era n'ensi endala zibadde zigezaako naye akawuka ka mukenenya kakyeremye. Abatandise okugezesa kuno bagamba nti balina essuubi ddene nnyo.
Enteekateeka ng'okukomola kw'abasajja kuziyiza okukwatibwa akawuka ka mukenenya bitundu 60 ku 100. Ebirala ng'enkola ya ABC, okwewala okwegatta, okubeera ow'amazima n'okukozesa kondomu nabyo biyambako. Ekirala ekiri ku katale eddagala erikozesebwa nga ARVs Truvada. Naye era bino byonna biyambako okuziyiza na kuweweeza naye tebiwonya. Endwadde nga polio, tetanus n'olukusense zaafunirwa eddagala erizigema naye akawuka ka mukenenya tekalina.
Kalimu ebika bye bayita subtype ebiwerako kubanga keekyusa. Kale ekyo kye kimu ku bannasayansi kye bagezaako okulwanyisa.
Kati bannasayansi balwana okulaba nga mu ddagala erigezesebwa bateekamu ebirungo ebisobola okulwanyisa ebika by'akawuka kano ebingi. Mu Uganda, Abamakerere University Water Reed Project, Water Reed eya Kenya mu Kericho, wamu n'Embeya Medical Research Program mu Tanzania okunoonyereza ku ddagala ery'ebika bibiri erigema akawuka kano kwatandise omwezi guno.
Vaccine emu eweebwa oluvannyuma lwa vaccine endala. Nga kino kiyamba okubanga eddagala erisooka bwe liba nga lirina abasirikale be likoze mu mubiri, eddagala eryokubiri libongeramu amaanyi.
Tubuuzizza abakugu b'okuzuula eddagala lya mukenenya kitegeeza nti akawuka kano kaba kameggeddwa.
Wayinza okubaawo nti omu bwe bamaze omugema eyakoze abasirikale abangi ng'era bazze mu bungi bw'asinkana measles ayinza n'obutafuna kabonero konna. Naye otono eyakoze abasirikale abatonotono osangibwa endyayo oba ye yali embi, defensi ye ey'omubiri yaliko ebizibu ebirala, aba akyasobola okukola ki? Okufuna obulwadde obutonotono, oba singa teyakola basirikale aba asobola okufuna measles yennyini.
Era n'erigema siriimu bwe lirina okutwalibwa, omuntu alina likozesa wamu n'ebiziyiza ebirala nga kondomu, okukomolebwa, okuba omwesigwa n'okwekuuma. Florence Naluyimba, NTV ku Saawa Emu.
Webale nnyo Florence Naluyimba, okyali ku NTV ku Saawa Emu, kuumizi eziyiseeko. Webale nnyo okubeera naffe kati katumbulemu katono ddala tovaawo, tudda n'ekitundu ekyokubiri era bino bye bimu ku bikirimu. Okwasa amayinja e Jinja, abatuuze emitima gibali mutwe. Munnazi kuno tugenda kubuulira lwaki amannya agamu tegasaanye kutuumibwa baana. Tovaawo.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Eno ye NTV ku Saawa Emu webale nnyo kwekuumira ku mukutu mu mawulire amalala abatuuze mu muloka gwe Bulani Lubani e Butagaya mu Jinja basula kutebuuke nga kiva ku kampuni eyasa amayinja agonoonya amayumba n'ebintu ebirala. Okwonooneka bagamba nti amayinja gano gagotaanyiza n'ebyenjigiriza mu kitundu nga kati abazadde tebakyasindika baana ku masomero olw'okutya nti amayinja gandibakubirayo. Bagamba nti kampuni eno ya Isaac Musumba eyaliko minisita.
Kigambibwa nti nga Isaac Musumba tannagula ttaka mu kitundu kino yatandikawo kampuni emanyiddwa nga Solid State Company era ng'eno yasa amayinja agakozesebwa okuzimba oluguudo oluva e Jinja okudda e Kamuli. Amayinja gano kati gafuuse ga bulabe eri abantu mu kitundu kino nga bagamba nti gaboononedde ebintu omuli amabaati ku nnyumba, ennyumba zennyini, ebimera n'ebisolo.
Balikuba n'abaana baife bali kusomera ku masomero. Ayi balikuba n'olunaku olw'abaana okusoma ate nga batukoba nti tebajja kubalwa abaana kusoma.
Baba ibwe yafaira abaana yandekera bato kyoka baluti dirikuba dirikosa ebisolo byaifa dirikosa amayumba nifo obulamu obwaife tibulamu.
Kokono mwe tulya, kokono mwe tusomesa abaana, kokono mwe tugula sabuni, mwe tugula amafuta, mwe tugula omuunu. Ayempegano ife amabaale bwe ganasaaga kokono ife tujja kubaawa oba tujja kujawa.
Tuna amasomero aga primary mangi kakati ne mugamba ati n'amayumba g'abantu ngera boolaba tawuni y'Erubanyi yiyo amayumba g'abantu geetooloddewo ogenda kukola otya mu ngeri y'okusasula abantu oba okubajjawo. Olayo Musumba yatugamba kimu nti nze akwatako abaakutta ku gavumenti.
Essomero lya Lubani eririmu abaana abakunukkirizeeyo mu 1000 kati nalyo liri mu mbeera mbi olw'amayinja gano okumansukanga ne galikuba olutatadde.
Ebizimbe eby'essomero byonna bwikenize bijja kugwa bugwe bijja kugwa ku baana nife abasomesa obulamu bwaife buli matiga.
Eyaliko minisita Isaac Musumba yatuukiriddwa abeeko kyatangaza ku nsonga eno wabula n'agamba nti waakuddamu okutukubira kyataakoze.
Oli ku NTV ku Saawa Emu. Erinnya kye kimu ku byawula omuntu ku mulala ky'ova olaba nti tewali muntu atalina linnya. Mu Buganda jjajja yatuuma muzzukulu we erinnya ery'ekika ng'ogyeko erinnya ery'ekika waliyo n'amannya ge bayita ag'engero nago agatuumibwa okusinziira ku bintu ebiba biguddewo. Amannya ago ge tutunuulidde olwaleero. Okimanyi nti agamu ku mannya ago ebiseera ebimu galondoola omwana? Nazzikono.
Ng'ekiseera kituuse ky'okutuma omwana erinnya abazadde bamutwalanga ewa jjajja azaala kitaawe. Omukolo ogwo tekujjajjumbirwa nnyo ensangi zino naye gwakolebwa ng'abedda.
Kyagala okusengejja erinnya n'otunula ne ku byafaayo by'emabega ani yalirina, yali atya mu mbeera ze, yalina ku ssente. Oyinza okutuuma erinnya eryoleka obwavu kulazikulabe omuntu n'abonaabona mu nsi kubanga wamugamba kulazikole ki zikulabe. Kyovula wano mu Buganda tugamba okukuuma erinnya kintu kikulu nnyo.
Omwana yaweebwanga erinnya ery'ekika naye olumu jjajjaawe yasalanga okumuwa erinnya okusinziira ku mbeera eriwo oba eyaliwo ng'omwana azaalibwa.
Najja lwambi atera okuzaalibwa nga taata waafudde. Buli jjajjaawe bw'ajja n'agata omwana atono yajja lwambi.
Waliwo n'abo abatuumibwa erinnya okusinziira ku ekyo alituuma kyayagala omwana oyo abeere ng'akuze okugeza erinnya nga Basajja Mivule.
Nga jjajjaawe ayagala omwana oyo abeere mugumu ng'omuvule yemeze yekka ng'omuvule omuntu omukolerere naye tanyuma.
Omuntu ng'omutumye erinnya lya Nsimbi, Nsimbi muntu tomusuubira kubeera nti talina ssente, omusuubira okubeera n'emirimu egivaamu ensimbi, omusuubira okubeera nga musajja mukozi. Erinnya erya Luganda olituuma n'osanga ng'oli amanyi nnyo banne bw'aba mwana ng'akumaakuma Abaganda be, akumaakuma Oluganda. Erinnya nga Yiga omusuubira okubeera omuntu nga yeebuuza, omuntu ayagala okuyiga, kubanga erinnya lyennyini limusindika okukola ekyo.
Amannya ago kigambibwa nti oluusi gawanga omwana oyo amaanyi okukola ennyo okutuukiriza amakulu agali mu linnya lye. Abakulu babanga beegendereza obutatuuma abaana amannya agamu agayinza okubalondoola mu ngeri embi.
Kyagala okusengejja erinnya n'otunula ne ku byafaayo by'emabega ani yalirina, yali atya mu mbeera ze, yalina ku ssente. Oyinza okutuuma erinnya eryoleka obwavu kulazikulabe, omuntu n'abonaabona mu nsi kubanga wamugamba kula zikole ki, zikulabe. N'ennaku ne zijja ne zikulaba kubanga baakutuuma ziraba muzaale. Nokusinga okubeera awo nga weekubagiza si z'omu, kubanga osigala nga ndaba ennaku si z'omu, kakati gwe n'olemera mu nnaku ezo kubanga erinnya likugamba nti si z'omu.
Ng'ogyeko amannya ag'engero, waliwo n'amannya ge baatuumanga omuntu okusinziirako ebyo byayiseemu oba ebituuse ku nnyina ng'ali mu lubuto lwe.
Omuzadde bayinza okuba nga nakabutuzi bamutwala mu ddwaliro n'atatuuka n'azaalira ku kkubo. Kati omwana oyo azaaliddwa ku kkubo, erinnya erya kkubo tayinza kulisukka, naye nga si lya kika.
Kaawonawo kitera kujjira mu ntalo oba mu kulwa era mu kuzaala ennyo abaana nga bafa. Kisoboka n'ogamba akaana kange ako nali nzadde n'abaana bangi naye ako maama ke kaawonawo.
Bw'aba yajja ne nnyina naga oyo omwana kawuzi kajja ne nnyina nga keesibye.
Erinnya ndifuna nnyinza okuba nga mbadde nzaala abaana bawala beereere. Kaakati mukwano gwange n'ambuuza ewayi mukyala Nabbosati wanyi tolinaayo ku mwana mulenzi? Ne muddamu ne muga nti owa ndifuna.
Waliwo n'amannya agatuumibwa omwana okusinziira ku ebyo byakola ng'akula. Amannya gano omwana atera okugafuna ng'atandise okutambula. Abamuli ku lusegere beetegereza engeri gy'akolamu ebintu era bw'abaako byakola eby'enjawulo okubasinziira okumuwa erinnya eryo.
Mukadde we eryo erinnya yaliraba n'agamba omwana ono kamutuume olw'okujjukira ensonga bweti enkulu ye gyawulira mu kumanya kwe nti ensonga eyo ebadde ensonga enkulu nnyo mu byafaayo by'obulamu bw'omwana oyo ng'abutandika. Ne bw'aba abutambuddeko myaka 2-3 omwana asobola oddimuwa erinnya eryo.
Erinnya omuntu kasita aliyitaba ng'olwo lizze.
Omwana bw'abanga ddala omulaba ng'anaaba mukozi awaka, mirimu agitambuza bulungi, akola kano akola kali, akola kano akola kali, omwana oyinza omutuuma erinnya erya Namirimu.
Onywedde enjaga olwana ku kyalo ogenda owakula ebikajjo by'abandi ng'olyaga nti ye baazaala ki kino.
Amannya ago abaana bamugabakalako n'akola nalyo oluusi nga tamanyi na kwe lyava. Abamu naddala abo be bagatuumira mu bubi bagezaako okugejjako naye kino si kyangu kubanga liba lyakala. Okutwaliza abamu kikulu nnyo okugenderera amakulu g'erinnya ly'otuuma omwana kubanga oluusi limulondoola.
Nasikuno webale nnyo kwekuumira ku NTV nate katuumulemu katono ddala bwe tukomawo bya mizannyo.
This is NTV. This is NTV. This is NTV.
Ab'emutaano zeziise ku Saawa Emu wakyali ku NTV ku Saawa Emu mizannyo olwaleero omutendesi wa Chelsea Roberto Di Matteo ayolekedde okugwa mu bintu oluvannyuma lwa ttiimu eno okuwangula ekikopo kya Bulaaya. Bangi ku batendesi b'omupiira mu Bulaaya bavuddeyo ne bawa amagezi eri nannyini ttiimu eno Roman Abramovich awe Di Matteo omulimu guno mu butongole. Chelsea empaka zinebadde teziwangulangako.
Eyaliko omuzannyi wa ttiimu ya Chelsea Gianfranco Zola wamu n'abatendesi abalala mu Bulaaya nga ne wa Bayern Munich ku mutadde bonna bawadde amagezi eri omugagga Roman Abramovich awe Roberto Di Matteo ogw'obutendesi mu butongole. Kino kiddiridde Chelsea okuwangula Bayern Munich ekiro kya jjo n'etwala ekikopo kya Champions League. Guno gwe mulundi gwa Chelsea ogusoose okuwangula ekikopo kino mu bbanga ery'emyaka 17 lyemaze. Thomas Muller yateebye ggoolo ey'omutwe ng'ebula eddakiika 6 omupiira guggwe wabula Didier Drogba n'agisazaamu ng'ebula 2 zokka.
Didier Drogba makes it 1-1. We have got drama. Didier Drogba takes us into extra time.
Omupiira gwawedde nga ttiimu zombi zisibaganye era bwe gwagenze mu kusumulagana penalty Chelsea n'eguwangula.
Mu mizannyo emirala essaza lya Busujju ligudde maliri n'ery'Emawokota nga teri yatebye munne mugumu ku mipiira gy'amasaza egisambiddwa ku nkomerero ya Sabbiiti eno. Omupiira guno gusambiddwa ku kisaawe ky'e Kamuli mu Busujju gwongedde essuubi abawagizi ba Busujju ababadde balowooza nti ttiimu yaabwe ekola bubi mu mpaka z'omwaka guno. Ttiimu eno yawangulwa Gomba ggoolo 2 ku bwereere.
Ewa kapiteni owabokota ne bavuze wano ye wangi pasi
weetuse era bikegenda kutwala engabo nebaza nnyo kooki n'abasambi naye tuyambisa omukisa guno gwe tulina tugende mu maaso tujja kutwala engabo gye bujja.
Ebula 2 zokka okwera Saawa Emu n'ekitundu oli ku NTV ku Saawa Emu nga sinnasiibula tubajjukiza nti waliwo program empya etandika ekiro kya leero. Program eno yakubaganya birowoozo ku nsonga ez'enjawulo naddala ez'ebyobufuzi etuumiddwa 4th Estate nga yakubaawo buli lwa Sunday amangu ddala ng'amawulire ag'essaawa 3 gawedde. Kati katubalozeeko ku ebyo ebigenda okubaawo ekiro kya leero.
What are your facts as far as the process of the lifting of term limits is concerned? What have you heard?
The majority, even the NRM, did not want it. So he realized that most of them are poverty-stricken.
What was your measure?
He gave them inducements. It is very clear. At Mosa Court is near here.
Okay, what happened?
Gave them money.
And
they were broke and they said, yes, sir.
But I think
was this the caliber of parliamentarian that you had at the time?
Alan, do not, you talked of being simplistic and really taking this debate along.
Can we educate this gentleman?
Can we get to the...
He's taking a lot of time saying the same thing.
But really for Obore to reduce himself to issues of bribery.
But isn't it a fact that parliamentarians were bribed at that time?
With 5 million.
Yes, wasn't that a bribe?
Do you believe people can be bribed with 5 million?
Even the 200 shillings you take. So what
if you do it at the monitor.
Alan, the issue is...
Let's hear him. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Okay, Chris.
So,
Chris. Okay, hold on, Frank. Chris, what happened?
5 million is too much by the way for an MP. They take 300. The point now here is...
How much do you...
Eyo ye 4th Estate togisibwa mu bujjuvu ku saa 3 n'eddakiika 5 amangu ddala nga NTV Weekend Edition yakagwa. Sigenda kusukka waawo tusisinkane nate enkya ne NTV akawungeezi. Nze Farida Nakasibwe mubeere bulungi era mweraba.
This is NTV. This is NTV.
Combination here, y'all. Feel it. The revolution will be televised. Feel me.
Come on. She would shampoos a lot. Several mornings she shampoos my locks. Always have my back, she stand true to that. Real type of loving, thank you for that. Yo, run barefoot without no shoes and socks. Cause she keep herself clean, man, I got catch no rush. And she love me for real, man, I feel have no cash. And any little thing and from a splish, she splash. Yo, all this blinging is like you forgot. Use cheddar as the bait, then you recruit the rat. So we listen couple speech of Martin Luther chat. Dennis Brown, Bob Marley and some super cat. Yo, it seem like she live upside the Duke shop. Cause she don't have a scratch, it's only beauty spot. When one duty start is when one duty stop. 1 9 to 5, 1 5 to 12 o'clock. You see me?
Today on Showcase Uganda, we visit one of Africa's greenest cities and explore its abundant sights. In 1995, the Ugandan government launched an ecotourism initiative. The goal was to ensure that Uganda got a share in the burgeoning domestic and international tourism business. At the same time, the government was determined to protect Uganda's environment and culture. Ugandan society is still predominantly rural, with traditional customs and lifestyles flourishing. Uganda's population consists of 40 tribes with a vast repertoire of styles, rhythms and languages, all intrinsically linked. And what better way to begin to understand and experience this than by journeying through and showcasing the variety of attractions Uganda's capital city Kampala has to offer. Kampala is Uganda's capital city and derives its name from the Luganda word Kasozika Impala, meaning hills of antelopes. It is said that in the 19th century, Buganda kings used to graze impala on the slopes of a hill near the Mengo Palace. Kampala is one of the greenest cities in Africa, with a beauty that gives way to astounding views of surrounding countryside. Straddled across the lush green hills of this tropical landscape, Kampala is the center of commercial life and the seat of government. Currently host to approximately 1.5 million people, Kampala is a fast-growing city, a vibrant modern metropolis that still manages to retain its distinctive African character. Nakasero Market, located in downtown Kampala, is renowned for its fresh food and fruit and is frequented by both residents and visitors due to its proximity to the central business district as well as attractive prices. The daily hustle and bustle of the marketplace show Kampala's ability to grow and develop, yet retain much of its customary charm. 5 kilometers from the city center on the Kampala-Hoima Road is Kasubi Hill, a royal palace enclosure first built in 1881. The Kasubi tombs, also known as the Ssekabaka's tombs, are the royal tombs where 4 former Kabakas or kings of Buganda are buried. The 4 royal tombs lie within the Muzibu Azala Mpanga, which is circular and surmounted by a dome. It's a major example of an architectural achievement using reed, wattle, bark, wood and thatch. Each of the 52 rings that surround the dome are reflective of the Buganda clans. The tomb's main significance lies in its spirituality, continuity and identity for the Baganda. It's the most active religious site in the kingdom. Since kings in the Buganda culture are believed to be immortal, they are all given the privileges and rights of the living king. This donation helps maintain the descendants of the royal family who live within the tomb site and aids in the upkeep of the site. Souvenirs are also readily available for those who want a keepsake of this spiritual experience. A visit to the sacred Kasubi tombs is a must for all who live, visit, or are simply passing through Kampala. The Uganda Museum is another site steeped in culture and history. It is a great place for a day out with friends and family. Located in Kamuchar, the Uganda National Museum aims to preserve, restore and display elements of Ugandan history. The many items on show are varied in their historic significance and demonstrate a tangible link between past and present. Its accessibility and convenience makes the museum a must visit for all. A small entrance fee may be charged, but fees vary from adults and children. But perhaps one of Kampala's most revered tourist sites to date, and another massive high temple located on Kikaya Hill on the outskirts of the city. This unique and magnificent place of worship opened its doors to the public in 1962. The temple is open to peoples of all religious faith. It soars above every other landmark, projecting harmony and peace. The temple is the only of its kind in Africa. Each continent has only one Baha'i temple. You are bound to find a visit here inspiring. Visitors are encouraged to spend time in the gardens. While there, remember to respect the Baha'i rules. No littering, no alcohol, no smoking, and please don't pick the flowers. When Showcase Uganda returns, we discover Kampala's hotels and hangouts. Barely 10 minutes away from the city center, Didi's World along Gaba Road offers a variety of entertainment activities for the young and young at heart. This entertainment center is open 7 days a week and is an ideal weekend break for the kids. For those who find that they may have a bit more time on their hands living in or visiting Kampala and are ardent golfers or simply enjoy good sportsmanship, the Uganda Golf Club is just the place for you. The club is renowned for its well-maintained greens, professional caddies, and accommodating memberships. In fact, the golf club is considered one of the best courses in East Africa. It's a great place to relax and unwind with family and friends. With a growing number of foreign and domestic visitors traveling to Kampala, Metropolis responds hospitably to the dining out and entertainment needs of its visitors. The hotel industry is also booming. There are a variety of 4- and 5-star hotels conveniently located within and around Kampala. They offer world-class services and packages which can be customized to your traveling needs. So whether experiencing Kampala alone, with friends or family, the type of accommodation you may be looking for is easily available at affordable rates. 20 minutes drive from Kampala city is Peak Resort Munyonyo. Besides its resplendent beauty, Munyonyo is famous for its horse riding facilities.
They are so cute, look at, very cute. And during horse riding, I can forget everything, and like feel we can win. Uganda's horse very nice, very educated, very educated like him, and landscape of lake, nature, everything very nice.
Horse riding is an interesting, let me say, game. Yeah, this is the first horse riding stable in Uganda. We really love it as Ugandans because it's the first opportunity as we Ugandans we have taken advantage of.
As the day gets hotter, you can cool down in this swimming pool while enjoying the great view. To ensure easy facilitation, you can use cash, check, or credit card. For those who love shopping, Kampala also offers a variety of malls that cater to a diverse and varied taste. From the basics to the more impulsive. When Showcase Uganda returns. Kampala City is famed for its variety of nightclubs with experienced DJs. Its cosmopolitan atmosphere guarantees fun evenings out, and for the so inclined, checking a leg or two is recommended.
I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Bonita. Picasa. Shakira, Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight, and my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. Ay, 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 to the bambo, la gloria te está esperando. Latino, africano, asiático, americano, tu Dios te está mirando. Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body.
Showcase Uganda. We visit Entebbe. See you then.
NTV, turning on your world. NTV, turning on your world.
Today on Showcase Uganda, we visit Entebbe, the gateway into the Pearl of Africa. Entebbe International Airport lies astride the equator at latitude 0.02 north and longitude 320 east, for which reason it has been often described as the airport on the equator. Elevated at 3,782 feet above sea level, the airport is part of a peninsula bordering Africa's biggest freshwater lake, Victoria. The lakeside town derives its name from a legend about Bugala, the head of the local Mamba, literally meaning the lungfish clan within the Buganda community. History has it here that one day, Bugala, seated on a chair carved out of rock, was submerged by the waters of Lake Victoria, and the legend lived on when the colonial town was named Entebbe, meaning a chair. At weekends, many residents of Kampala escape from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax at Entebbe's numerous beach resorts and gardens. Just as you enter Entebbe town is the Mayor's Garden. This beautiful small garden is greatly cherished by the locals as well as passers-by, who find it both relaxing and cooling and a momentary pleasure to take a breather. When Showcase Uganda returns. One and a half kilometers away from Entebbe town is the Uganda Wildlife Education Centre, formerly known as Entebbe Zoo. Started in 1952, the colonial government then initiated an animal orphanage sanctuary for young abandoned animals found in protected areas. But UWEC is not just about the animals, it's about people too. Take your time and stroll through UWEC's 1,000-meter forest walk, encountering wild monkeys, birds, and a lovely view of Lake Victoria, which also hosts a wonderful beach. UWEC is an exciting destination that offers visitors modern facilities. Although smaller in size compared to Kampala, Entebbe's charm leaves a long-lasting effect on all its visitors. Barely 3 kilometers from Entebbe town is Keseni landing site. This small site activities. Whilst visiting this quaint island, its customary hospitality complements its culinary speciality, offered at customer-friendly prices. A typical lakeside town, Keseni would suit lovers of the waters. Nachiwogo landing site. This site is a Kalangala ship is the only means of transport that connects Nachiwogo and Kalangala Island. Heavy and small loads of all kinds of merchandise are transported by ship. Besides, the ship offers a scenic tour of Africa's largest freshwater lake. When Showcase Uganda returns, we discover Entebbe's hotels and hangouts. The scenic shores of Lake Victoria also accommodate Entebbe Golf Club. Its conducive climate and cooling lake breeze makes the golf club location a perfect place for the game. This club is also renowned for its well-maintained greens, professional caddies, and accommodating membership. And for those visitors who neither golf nor indulge in other energetic sports, the club is a great place for a picnic to unwind after a busy week. So what better way to watch the sunset over the lake? Lido Beach. The beautiful landscape beach also lies on the shores of Africa's greatest lake. Lido Beach is well known as a gathering place for motorbikers. In fact, the beach is considered as the Uganda Bikers Association meeting place. Entebbe's Sunday evenings with the motorbikers are a popular attraction for both the locals and visitors. They offer a superb introduction to Uganda since the beach is conveniently close to the international airport. As the gateway to Uganda and an escape place from the hustle and bustle of Uganda's capital, Kampala, Entebbe town has responded positively to the ever-growing numbers of its foreign and domestic visitors. Entebbe too offers a variety of eating outs and culinary delights that cater to all its visitors. The growing accommodation facilities are a testament to this fact. There are a number of landmark hotels within and around Entebbe offering modern facilities. Imperial Botanical Beach Hotel. Overlooking the magnificent Lake Victoria and surrounded by brilliant blue skies, shimmering white sand, and the sparkling emerald green waters of Lake Victoria.
left out for mamas with my thumb in the wind. The leaves on the ground, winners coming again. Solid on the surface as I crumble within. But legends are made out of vulnerable men. So on the brink of death, I still manage living life. Cause so rarely in this world are these chances given twice. I indeed sold my soul without glancing at the price. No instructions when I was handed this device. But with what I did get, I was more than generous. Put others over self on several instances. But I'm back on my feet without a hint of bitterness. And one way or another, I shall have deliverance.
So when in Entebbe, take a leaf out of the local handbook and sit back, relax, and enjoy.
People loved you unconditionally, toast in the New South. This one is for history. Then I slipped, fell, and caused the numbers injury. Called the same people, and it's yo, you just missed it, B. This the formula. Damn it, Bubba, you had it. Why'd you have to keep it polo and New Balance? Then they start to question whether you a true talent or just a redneck substance abuse addict. So
next week on Showcase Uganda, Jinja, a city of hidden gems.
I want all y'all to know, good or bad, I'll remember it at 10 million sold in the name of my deliverance. I've been traveling for some time. With my vision bold and my bottle shine, on these long dark dusty roads. I'm looking there, nowhere to go.
NTV, turning on your world.
The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks split into 2 regions: Bwindi Impenetrable Forest National Park, Mahinga Gorilla National Park in Uganda, Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, and Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The gorilla is the largest of all living primates and has a robust build with a massive chest and broad hands and feet. It has longer and darker hair than other species, allowing it to live and travel at high altitudes where temperatures drop to below 0 degrees Celsius. The gorillas can be identified by nose prints unique to each individual. Male mountain gorillas stand up to an average height of 6 feet and weigh from 400 to 500 pounds, that is 227 kilograms, making them the largest of the great apes. Adult males are called silverbacks because they develop a streak of silver hair on their backs with maturity. The silverback is the leader and the ultimate protector of his band. The mountain gorilla is most active between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., Most of this time is alternated between foraging, eating, and resting. They are herbivores and consume large amounts of vegetation. Adult males can eat up to 34 kilograms of vegetation a day, while a female can eat as much as 18 kilograms. Females reach breeding age at about 10 years old. They typically bear young every 4 to 5 years, giving birth after a gestation period of 8 to 9 months. The mountain gorilla is generally shy but highly social and lives in relatively stable, cohesive groups of up to 35 individuals. These groups are made up of one silverback, 1 or 2 blackbacks, a few mature female juveniles, and infants.
NTV, turning on your world.
Today on Showcase Uganda, we visit Jinja, the city of hidden gems. On your way to Jinja, nestled within Mabira Forest is Mabira Trading Centre. From time immemorial, travellers traversing the Jinja Road have stopped off here, most times beckoned quite energetically by sellers to enjoy the famed Mabira roasted chicken. Besides just offering weary travellers rest, this meal break also offers the opportunity to mingle with the warm and friendly locals, making the experience both exciting and memorable. Mabira Forest City is Uganda's largest rainforest and offers visitors a rare tropical experience. A natural forest walk will give you the chance to appreciate the variety of flora and fauna abundant here. The forest is brought to life by the sprawling monkey species that inhabit the forest. For all nature lovers, this walkthrough is a must-do. "87 kilometers out of Kampala, we finally arrive at Uganda's second largest commercial centre, Jinja, which was established in 1901. Located on the shores of Lake Victoria, Jinja lies near the source of the White Nile River. The city is the chief town of Jinja district and is considered the capital of the Busoga Kingdom. Jinja hosts a population of approximately 106,000 people, the majority being of Bantu origin and are English speaking.
kyalukumi gandi kutandemu ekikomano mwana ogula wali ekikomano gende kutekemu ekikomano
The Busoga Kingdom. Located at Bugembe Hill, this is where the Chabazinga, the Katikiro, and the Royal Clan Council sit. The Busoga Kingdom has a long and interesting historical perspective that explains the very nature and bond of the cultural institutions found in Uganda. Although, quite unlike the typical monarchies in Africa, the Busoga did not have central authorities at the advent of the coming of British rule, but she had nevertheless developed small principalities, each with its own hereditary rulers. These principalities were later to be consolidated into her central authority under a king called Isebantu Chabazinga, who ruled the Busoga Kingdom. Dancing and drumming form the very core of the Busoga tradition and culture. Having been the industrial pulse of Uganda since the 1960s, it is common sight to come across some of Uganda's larger and more successful industries right here in Jinja. The industrial landscape has formed the fabric of Jinja's identity and prosperity, which in turn is a huge part of the tourist appeal of Jinja town. One such attraction open to visitors is witnessing the brewing process of a popular brew. When Showcase Uganda returns, we discover Jinja's gems. Jinja's natural endowment is probably most visible here at the Bugala waterfalls. The mighty yet stunningly beautiful Bugala Falls are located 15 minutes from Jinja town, some 10 kilometers below Lake Victoria, and a testament of the natural bliss Uganda offers. The luxurious vegetation covering the riverbanks and island, and the startling diversity of bird life, complemented by the multitude of fish, complete the stunning vista of the Omuga Chira, or the White Nile. Be sure to bring along your camera for some memorable pictures.
Every time when the boat didn't flip out.
More than 4,000 miles in length, the Nile River offers thrilling adventures for visitors of all ages and abilities. The Great Waterway has played a monumental role in history, and it traverses an incredible variety of landscapes and a colourful melody of cultures. It has enthralled civilization with its power and mystery, with some of the most powerful and sustained rapids on Earth. Enjoy this adrenaline rush.
And then bring it with you. We've got a big Pelican case that's like this orange one. Definitely not the orange one. There's a big yellow one over by all the gear. You can bring that with you, okay? The only other thing you need to bring with you other than what you're wearing, and I'm going to talk about that in a sec, is any medications. If any of you guys have asthma or your guide know, okay?
Good morning, everybody. Okay, it's Joe Broggs out here. We're in the Pearl of Africa. Yes, it's Uganda, and you are about to go rafting on the mighty White Nile. Okay, the one-day mighty White Nile. It's one of God's biggest water features. So hang on really tight. It's gonna get wet. Woo!
Satisfaction in me. A little more fun, a little less fun, a little less fun, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart and maybe satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby.
Whitewater rafting experience right here on the banks of the mighty River Nile. Our crews are upstream right now practicing how to hold on, how to flip. But right here, it's Bugala Falls Class 4. Big lead in to a big kicking wave. You're gonna love this. Check it out.
With it today, I used to have one too, maybe I'll come and have a
Also available is the opportunity to experience the Nile High bungee jump. Touted as being one of the most visually impressive bungee jumps in the world, this experience will get anyone's blood pumping. Kites and fish eagles circle the tower as thrill seekers prepare to plunge 44 meters into the source of the Nile. The Nile High bungee jump has been created using world-leading technology that guarantees a state-of-the-art personalized challenge. Safety and environmental sustainability are of utmost importance, and the site has been constructed to international standards. So why not take the cue and take the plunge? After the break, we visit Jinja's hotels and hangouts. Perched atop a cliff overlooking the source of Africa's longest river, we find the starting point for rafting trips and the home for bungee jumping on the Nile. You can pitch a tent here for as little as $2 per night or 3,600 Uganda shillings. Relax in the bunk dormitories or treat yourself to little more comfort in the well-appointed safari tents. The camp boasts a nicely tiled ablution area and a well-stocked bar within roaring distance of the rapids on the Nile. 5 minutes walk from the campsite is this swimming pool. Camp residents can make use of the beautiful pool for a token amount per day, as well as treat themselves to a buffet meal. Great value meals are served daily at the camp. Enjoy the Mongolian dishes or cook up your own feast, whatever tickles your fancy. Like most other developed towns in Uganda, Jinja is also famed for its variety of nightclubs. Sombreros is Jinja's finest discotheque. Coupled with its exquisite fittings and impeccable taste of furnishings, the laid-back music creates the perfect atmosphere to unwind and relax. A special way to wind up an activity-packed day. Next week on Showcase Uganda, we head east.
NTV, turning on your world.
Today on Showcase Uganda, we continue our journey through the profound beauties of Uganda's islands. Our destination, Bugala Island, the biggest of all the 84 Sese Islands. Our trip to the island starts from Nachiwogo Pier, which is approximately 2 kilometers from the center of Entebbe town. The ferry normally docks at about 10 a.m. and sets off at 2 p.m. The ferry ride takes about 3 hours. Though it is the most recommended means of transport, canoes can be hired to get you to the island at a reasonable price. For those travellers closer to Masaka town, another ferry leaves the mainland from Bukakata to Bugala, with the ferry ride taking between 40 to 45 minutes. On the ferry, there is a general feeling of anticipation as most travellers are on holiday and are looking forward to some few days of fun and relaxation after the hustle and bustle of today's urban life.
We work so hard the whole year, neglect our wives, stay out long hours trying to work, neglect the kids. So, this is one of those days. Run away from town, switch your phone off, that's why I'm going there. To have fun, be alone, play football,
Just have a couple of days off. So I think Kalangara is the best choice right now. Good scenery. It's different, really. It's not like Kampala. I'm in Kampala full time, So this is a chance to see the islands, really.
Time to do domestic tourism. Thank you. Why go to Hawaii, Honolulu, Zanzibar before you see Kalangala?
Gifted by nature.
Uganda, gifted by nature.
The spray from the lake is both refreshing and relaxing, and coupled with a spectacular view from across the waters, the experience is exhilarating. The 27,000 square mile water body, Lake Victoria, is shared by the three Uganda possessing the northern part, Tanzania the southern, and Kenya the northeastern part. It is also the source of the great River Nile. Due to its proximity to the lake, Bugala Island is blessed with rainfall throughout the year and is thus lush and verdant with vast untouched tropical rainforests. The vegetation varies depending on the geological formation and alternates between extensive rainforests and savanna grasslands. The deep blue waters support an abundant ecosystem, so the island is indeed a bird watcher's paradise. In addition to the many fascinating rare species, it harbours the world's greatest concentration of fish eagles. The island is populated by the Basese. These are the island's original inhabitants who earn their living mainly as fishermen. The blue waters of the lake abound with popular species like the huge Nile perch, which was introduced in 1950, and the native tilapia, which has sadly reduced in number due to the exploding numbers of Nile perch. Due to the favourable rainfall patterns, averaging around 2,000 millimetres a year, the Basese have successfully taken to farming, growing crops like coffee, sweet potatoes, bananas and cassava in order to supplement their meagre incomes. So while the original rainforest is still flourishing on the island, some of it has been cleared to make way for farming and other commercial activities. The occasional clumps of water hyacinth are a sad reminder of the country's struggle against the weed, which had threatened the lake's ability to support the livelihood of the 30 million or so people who rely on the lake for their basic sustenance. By the time the ferry lands at Lutoboka Bay, everyone is ready to start on a fabulous holiday. The ferry from Bukakata will land at Luku. One look at the glorious beaches and the gentle waves breaking on the shore, and you are sure you have come to the right place to unwind and feel at one with nature. When Showcase returns, we experience the enchanting delights of Bugala Island. Our holiday starts at Pearl Gardens, and a night out on the island is an experience which one cannot forgo. The sound of music and laughter and the gentle glow of the campfire will draw you like a magnet to join the group of merrymakers who are intent on only one thing: having a good time.
This is my first time to come on this island, and it's very good. There are nice places to see, forests, monkeys, like that, swimming at beaches. Even you can see hippos.
It's a very lovely island here. We like the environment. It's quiet. It's beautiful nature. We have seen a little bit from the environment.
As you make your way to the beach, a walk through the enchanting grounds of Pearl Gardens Resort will provide a fresh start to your day. Nothing beats the experience of being awakened by the gentle sound of waves, birds chirping, and the happy shouts of the early morning swimmers. You can take a few moments, savouring the tranquility and freshness of the awakening gardens, after which you can enjoy your breakfast right by the shore, with the waves breaking a few feet away. Breakfast is also served in the dining room. The island is a nature lover's haven with about 50 kilometers of road on it and can be explored on both foot and by bicycle. It's the best way to start off the day's activities. The route will take you through the fishing village, past grass-thatched houses and curious householders. The people are warm and friendly and are happy to be of assistance to the many tourists, both local and international, who are drawn to the island to enjoy its serenity. You will find that there is relatively little activity taking place on the island, for the Basese are essentially a rural community whose main occupation is fishing. Guides are available to take you on a tour through the island's rich natural tropical rainforest, which abounds with unique and colourful birdlife, monkeys and trees. The forest is an entirely different atmosphere. One is overcome by a sense of wonder at being so near civilization and yet seemingly secluded from reality. The sounds of the birds chirping in the trees and the monkeys chattering overhead gives one a sense of being at one with nature. The variety of trees is impressive, and one cannot help but marvel at the complexity of both plant and animal life in the forest. A highlight of the trek through the forest is the remnants of Speke's fort.
Yeah, and that's why many people actually they had failed to come up on top of this.
The British explorer John Speke, on his travels through Africa, is reputed to have constructed a house on this hill during his stay in Uganda. The cool waters of the lake are a welcome relief after a vigorous walk. You can recoup your energy as you lazily float around with the sun shining on your face, or join in the fun with a crowd of swimmers racing around and enjoy a really good swim. But as you splash around, do not forget that the lake provides a livelihood to the communities living on the islands, so watch out for the fishing boats as they take off to look for the day's catch. While on the island, you can participate in a myriad of invigorating activities. The game provides a total workout for the body as well as a pleasurable workout. It is never too late to enjoy simple pleasures. A go at the swings will take you down memory lane to those tender, carefree childhood days of fun and games. During the holiday season, there is a special event usually organised by Pearl Gardens, which you should not miss while on the island, and that is canoe racing. This event is engaged in by all those who are able and causes a lot of excitement as crowds turn up to support and applaud their teams. For the contestants, it is a unique display of skill as the water flashes by with each team struggling to outdo its opponents. The race culminates in the prize-giving ceremony, with the winners getting a goat which is promptly taken away and roasted while the runners-up get monetary prizes. It is the island's excitement, and you can look back at a truly fulfilling day.
Abokubiri be babadde bakulu bano wammanga.
When Showcase returns, we highlight the commercial facet of Bugala Island. A trip to the nearby Bigco plant, which is a project aimed at increasing domestic vegetable oil production, provides a contrast to the rest of the island. The well-kept plantations, testament to the 2,000 hectares of forest, which have been cleared and planted with more than 1 million imported palm oil seedlings. The plantation is projected to cover 26,500 hectares and is being undertaken jointly by the government, International Fund Agricultural Development, the World Bank and the private sector. The Bigco compound boasts of a modern conference centre, guest house, staff premises, a staff recreation centre and clinic.
This is NTV. This is NTV. This is NTV. NTV. This is 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 NTV.
It is 9 p.m. on this Sunday night, the 20th day of May 2012. You are right on time for tonight's NTV Weekend Edition. Welcome. Tonight, police nabs another LRA commander in Kampala as Uganda and Rwanda set up a joint border security team to strengthen security along border lines. President Museveni cannot choose successor. General Tafire speaks out on succession. And be sure to have your say on this in our NTV Weekend poll. And Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago mugged as he tries to stop a truck driver's eviction from the city. Plus, of course, our weekly political feature and the latest in sport. Good evening. I am Josephine Karunji. Fast things fast. The headlines. Thief or former LRA rebel. Police arrest suspected Konyi ally for car vandalism.
Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago gets blocked by police as he tries to access Kalitunsi Park near the clock tower. Join me, Craig Kadoda, for more on that story. And on our political feature this week, we look at the NRM party that is already nominating its candidates for the East African Legislative Assembly as the opposition are planning ways to go back to court. Join me, Maurice Ochol, for that story.
The first ever women's beach soccer competition in Uganda was played here at Lido Beach in Entebbe. Join me, Alfred Long, with the story who played and excelled in this one-day championship.
Once again, thank you for joining us. Police have arrested a former LRA rebel commander in Muyenga, Kampala suburb. Dennis Opio was identified after police bust a racket of thieves who vandalized people's cars in the city. The suspect was nabbed through the new community policing initiative.
After an intense search and crackdown on car robbers, police nabbed Dennis Opio, a former LRA commander.
He's a former Lord Resistance Army and a big fish because I'm told he was a battalion commander.
Opio confessed that he escaped from the LRA ranks and came to Kampala, where he was living with his sister.
They take me there when I was like this in the bush. Yeah. So they take us there to training 1 year.
He claims that he did not report himself to the authorities for fear that he would be killed.
I fear to report. I fear to report to Amnesty because I think they will kill me.
Opio has been living with his sister. He was arrested along with other 6 suspected car robbers. Dennis Opio is now in police custody for further interrogation. Meanwhile, Uganda and Rwanda have signed an agreement to form a joint border security team to share intelligence on security threats and also restrict the movement of refugees.
We shall also ask other agencies at the borders to join them. This will enhance security in the sense that, especially here in Chanika, where there are negative forces in the Congo.
So we need really to have an early warning. This military mechanism is supposed to be an early warning to assist us in preventing or preempting or preparing ourselves effectively to respond.
The joint security border team will be headed by counter-terrorism chiefs from both countries. Their operations will be conducted at both gazetted and non-gazetted areas along the borderlines. The Inspector General Police Kale Kaihura and his counterpart from Rwanda toward the entry points of Chanika and Katuna border posts. Hilary Yesiga, NTV.
Kampala capital city Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago was today blocked from accessing the Kalintusi area near Clock Tower by police as he tried to inquire about the evictions that were going on in the area. He was later ordered to leave the premises before the crowd got rowdy as court bailiffs evicted the truck drivers operating in the area. The Lord Mayor is against the eviction that is supposed to pave way for a new developer who bought the land.
This was the scene earlier today at the Kalitunsi area near Clock Tower as these workers dug pits to erect poles that will support iron sheds that will act as a fence. But as this exercise went on, the police was on guard to keep an eye on the eviction that left some of the drivers frustrated. But it wasn't long before the Lord Mayor made his way to the site to try and inquire why the eviction was carried out on a Sunday. When he got to the scene, he was blocked from accessing the area by a policeman. The policeman then dragged the Lord Mayor to his car and requested him to leave.
I have no fuel on the vehicle. I'm walking this side. I'm going. Where? I'm going.
We have a vehicle. Enter your vehicle. No, if you say that there's no there fuel, is no fuel. I have a vehicle. I can bring my
Can I escort you?
wherever you want to go.
Lukwago was later escorted to his car as police tried to disperse the crowd that was getting agitated. The mayor insists the eviction was against the law.
This is extremely ridiculous. I cannot believe this. Somebody claiming that you can execute a court order on Sunday, and that's what actually court directed. I really want to see the judiciary coming out on this to tell us if it is true that they are the ones who authorized this execution, who sanctioned it, to be done on Sunday, not on any other day, but on Sunday morning when people are going to church.
The truck drivers have since left the premises and the area remains fenced off. The developer, identified as Kasim Sesimba, was supposed to find alternative land to relocate the drivers. Craig Kadoda, NTV Weekend Edition.
Justice Minister Kahinda Otafire says President Yoweri Museveni is in no position to choose a successor. General Otafire, speaking at a public lecture in memory of Brigadier Noble Mayombo, argued that the president would not seek election every 5 years if he had the ability to bequeath his office to a successor, as has been mooted by sections of NRM party supporters who blame current rifts within the ruling party to jostling over who should take on after Museveni.
How can President Museveni bequeath what he does not have, what he doesn't own? The office of the president. If he can bequeath it, why does he apply for the job every 5 years? Every 5 years, President Museveni applies for this job, sits interview for 3 months, loses weight, and you say he can pass it on. So, are we in leadership for trailblazing, or do we have other circumstantial reasons for existing in positions of leadership? Affecting the quality of life of the people of the land is a sine qua non for occupying office. If you can't meet that standard, that hallmark, then you reach the tether of the return of diminishing returns.
Well, those remarks bring us to a point of interaction with you, our viewers, tonight, and we ask, do you agree with General Otafire that President Museveni has no powers to choose a successor? I repeat, do you agree with General Otafire that President Museveni has no powers to choose a successor? SMS your thoughts by typing NTV poll, leave a space followed by a brief comment to 8778, and stay tuned as we shall sample some of your views during the bulletin. Now moving on, it is exactly 8 years since 54 innocent civilians were massacred by the Lord's Resistance Army at Lukodi DP camp in Butanjira sub-county Gulu district. NTV visited the camp where poverty and frustration have compromised the way of life for this community. 8 years on, the communities await government's compensation as the victims struggle to pick up their lives.
75-year-old Patel Oyat and his 70-year-old wife Georgina Alanyo were lucky to survive that Wednesday evening attack on 19th May 2004, which left both of them with injuries and 54 others dead after the LRA stormed their camp. Patel lost his eyesight in the attack after one of the rebels slapped him on the face. He recalls how he took refuge in a newly dug pit latrine behind his house until the rebels left. The next morning, he woke up to horrific sight of mutilated bodies of his family members. He lost a mother, 2 brothers, a daughter-in-law, and 4 grandchildren. The memory of the charred bodies still haunts him. 8 years down the road, he still depends on his wife for daily support. The only daughter who survived the attack joined the army due to frustration 7 years ago, and she has never resurfaced. Their plight is shared by Doreen Abalo, a widower whose husband also perished in the attack. She now takes care of 5 grandchildren and their mother. These survivors now depend on Good Samaritans. Shannon Golden, a PhD student in sociology from the University of Minnesota in the United States, reached out to the survivors with a startup capital of goats.
You need to keep these goats well, and then you need to also provide that as a gift to somebody next year. In that way, we can see this something small start to multiply, and within a few years, this will have touched every household in Lukodi.
Now, as government moves to start a mass measles campaign in most parts of the country, the Uganda Red Cross is rallying behind government to give logistical support, carry out mobilization at the different centers across the country. The Red Cross will be sinking over $200,000 in the 2-day campaign.
The Ugandan Red Cross has received support from the American Red Cross to be able to conduct this exercise right from maybe this week until next week, and we have received about $200,000 US. That's about $480 million Ugandan shillings. Now this money will help to train. Already the volunteers have been trained. It will help us to provide logistical support to the teams that are moving countrywide. And what we've done is we've deployed 3,111 volunteers, 28 staff and 14 vehicles. Now these are going to support government to carry out social mobilization. The volunteers have been trained and their work is to move from house to house, to talk to the parents, to talk to the guardians, to take their children aged below 5 years to go for the mass measles campaign.
Well, let's now break off for a short while, but we return with more news and you can expect. The battle for the Iyala seat, political parties in deadlock over regional representation. And in personal finance this week, we offer alternatives to saving in the current economic crisis.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, a reminder that in our NTV Weekend poll, we asked, do you agree with General Tafire that President Museveni has no powers to choose a successor? I repeat, do you agree with General Tafire that President Museveni has no powers to choose a successor? To have your say, text 8778 followed by your name and where you are texting from. Let's now take a look at some of your responses so far. And we start with one from Agatha Zake, who says, yes, I totally agree. He has no right. This is not traditional leadership. Geoffrey Baluku says, only Ugandans can choose a successor for Uganda and not President Museveni. However, President Museveni can choose a successor for the post of chairman and presidential flag bearer for the NRM party. Remember, NRM is not Uganda, but one of the political parties that can vie for the presidency. And Rosie Kemi says, yes, the president does not have the power to choose a successor. He was elected and not born a president. We people have the power to choose our leader. Well, thank you so much for all of those responses. We will take a look at some more towards the end of this newscast. Now, Uganda, one of the first African countries to test for a vaccine against HIV by the Joint Clinical Research Center, has yet again embarked on a one-year trial of 2 HIV vaccines on 80 respondents this May. Spearheaded by the Walter Reed Project in Uganda and Kenya, as well as Mbeya Medical Research Program in Tanzania, positive progress into fighting this 3-decade-old virus is expected. In Health Focus tonight, Florence Nalimba examines the implications of finding this vaccine.
Measures like circumcision have been discovered to prevent HIV by 60%, the ABC method of abstinence, being faithful to your partner, and condom use, as well as prevention of mother-to-child transmission (PMTCT) are effective. The latest is Truvada, made by California-based Gilead Sciences, yet to be approved worldwide as a PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis drug believed to reduce the risk of HIV in gay men and among HIV-negative heterosexual partners of people who are HIV positive by between 44 and 73%.
They are antiretroviral drugs determined in the trial where they were tested that they prevented HIV infection. So there is reason to believe them.
However, all these preventive measures are not vaccines.
A vaccine elicits a response within those who are vaccinated to prevent infection. Truvada works as an antiretroviral to prevent infection. So they are all prevention interventions, but working in different ways.
There is a vaccine against tetanus. There is also a vaccine against measles, but there is no vaccine against HIV. This is a question most people here at Kampala Health Center are having, and all over the world. So what is taking long to find this vaccine?
To find an effective vaccine takes long. For one vaccine that succeeds, there are many vaccines that are tested that may not succeed. HIV is a unique virus, changes color very easily. The virus, as it mutates, may actually defeat, a vaccine which could potentially work.
Scientists have, however, also found ways to beat it by including vaccines that are being tested in as many parts as possible that could potentially cover the different virus strains. The Makerere Water Reed Project in Uganda, Water Reed Project in Kericho, Kenya, and Mbeya Medical Research Program in Tanzania are at the moment engrossed in testing two vaccines in a one-year follow-up vaccine trial.
These three East African sites, we are testing the two vaccines on 80 participants. However, 11 other participants got the vaccine in the US. So these two vaccines are being tested in what we call a prime boost strategy, where we prime the body with the first vaccine and then hoping the response that is induced by that vaccine is boosted by the second vaccine.
Research into an anti-HIV vaccine has been ongoing, and in 2009 Thailand came up with a modestly effective vaccine with which scientists began to work. So there is hope to find a safe and highly effective vaccine to prevent HIV infection. But what if the vaccine is finally discovered? Does it mean the war against HIV will have been won?
A vaccine may not necessarily prevent 100% of everybody. So even when a vaccine is found, a person may take the vaccine and may take other preventive measures.
Preventive measures like abstinence, being faithful to your partner, condom use, circumcision, PMTCT, and now Truvada, which costs over 3 million shillings per month. Money many Ugandans may not afford. Historically, vaccines have been known to control epidemics. An anti-HIV vaccine is needed to get rid of the AIDS pandemic. It is the only long-term hope for ending a disease which, according to WHO and UNAIDS, has claimed approximately 30 million lives worldwide, with 14,000 new infections each day. Florence Nalimba, NTV.
Now, Article 38 of the East African Treaty allows those that have disputes to go back to the courts in case of any disagreement. Legal analysts argue that after they have failed to have and resolve their disputes, attempts to have EALA elections for Uganda before disputes are resolved will be aggravating the treaty. On Friday, opposition legislators stormed out of Parliament after they failed to agree with the NRM on what number to send to the Assembly. The opposition are now threatening to go back to the courts of law. Maurice Ochol with this week's political feature.
The past week was all heated up with debates regarding the candidates to stand to EALA and how many candidates will represent each party at the Assembly. In the middle of the week, legislators from the main political parties in Parliament met to have an agreed position in which they tentatively agreed that both the opposition and the NRM take 4 positions and 1 person representing the independents. But when the House met on Friday, the NRM changed its position and decided on taking in 6 candidates out of the 9 available posts.
How many would be sent to the East African Legislative Assembly by the parties and other members. We don't have an agreement, and that's where the dispute or the disagreement is. It's not a dispute, it is a disagreement.
But legal analysts argue that this may be aggravating the treaty if they come into agreement within themselves and go ahead and have elections of the East African Legislative Assembly.
Article 38 is actually even more telling in as far as it says in subclause 2 that in the event of dispute arising, there should not be any other mechanism for solving that dispute except the mechanisms provided for under the treaty, and that mechanism is the court.
However, the opposition haven't left any stone unturned as they have now capitalized on Article 38 of the treaty.
It is not tenable that we will use numerical strength to determine our representative in the East African Legislative Assembly.
Attempts to have nominations, attempts to have elections before this dispute, which the opposition has chosen to take before the court, would in my view be aggravating this dispute, would in my view be detrimental to its resolution. So I think the NRM and of course the entire House is better advised to stay any process that might be seen as contravening the provisions of Article 38.
In fact, on Friday when the opposition failed to agree with the NRM, the lawmakers stormed out of Parliament.
As far as going to the Court of Justice, indeed, we already have instructions from our various political parties that if any party is denied representation, then the solution will not be in this Parliament. There is only one road to walk, and that road is to the East African Court of Justice. It's the one which will be an eventual arbiter in this conflict.
There will be no ERA until all parties, all governments involved have sent their members. And we can tell you with confidence that Uganda will not send this 9 because we're going to get legal redress.
Some lawmakers from the ruling NRM party have also rallied behind the opposition cause with an argument that it's Ugandans being forwarded in the assembly.
But you are representing the country. And if you are to be honest, I think what is being done there is to put into effect the agenda agreed upon by the summit of the East African community leaders, and that's all.
It's all about legislating for the heart of East Africa.
Meanwhile, some of the candidates in the opposition party have already been nominated for the East African Legislative Assembly seats, with the most prominent ones being FDC Vice President Salam Musumba and Women's League's leader Ingrid Turinawe.
I intend to offer leadership, not to spectate. I've performed and I expect to be promoted.
As for the NRM, the nomination has ended today with campaigns kicking off tomorrow as they continue to headline on having 6 seats, a move contested by the opposition in Parliament.
We are going to pick 6 people. We shall organize a joint rally. All the aspiring candidates, those who will have successfully been nominated.
Your political Dexamachina, your political mini ballistic missile interceptor, the only one original from NRM, will ensure that agriculture at the regional level is upheld in high esteem.
So it's a very critical day for us. Tomorrow is the day where we'll be making our final impact. We are glad that we have come to the finish line, but we need to run until we cross the finish line before we can begin celebrating.
In a twist of events, it's said that the East African Court of Justice has declared Lydia Wanyoto eligible to stand after interpretation of the law that was stopping her from standing for the 3rd term. Maurice Chol, NTV.
Thank you, Maurice. Now, our guest in the studio tonight is Martin Rito, the Member of Parliament representing Madi-Okolo County. You're welcome to NTV Weekend Edition.
My pleasure, thanks.
Well, to start us off, initially it had been agreed that the NRM and the opposition would each take 4 seats, and then the independents would take 1 seat. The next morning, the NRM changed their mind. What happened?
Well, the parliament in Uganda and the wishes of the people of Uganda are very clear. This was given to NRM in the mandate of the last elections. Now, NRM has about 71% of the members in parliament. And if you look in conformity with what's happening in the other countries, you see Tanzania, Chama cha Mapinduzi has got 7 members of parliament who have been taken to East African Legislative Assembly, and then 2 members of Chadema. You go to Rwanda, RPF has got 7 and other parties have 2.
So what happened?
So, well, there's nothing new. We are following the mandate the people gave to us, and they reflect the democracy which we have in this country.
Why are numbers such a big issue when at the East African Legislative Assembly we are all Ugandans?
Well, we're all Ugandans, but when we go to East Africa, we must reflect the will of the people of Uganda. And the will of the people of Uganda was given to us by giving us 71% of the parliament. And I think it's extremely very unfair for somebody to try to subdue the will of the people. If you look at other parties, for example, NRM has got 71%. And you look at parties like FDC, it has 9%. Now you look at Conservative Party, it has 0.2%. You look at Justice Forum, 0.2%. The Independents, 11.4%. The DP, 3.2%. So you can see clearly, the mandate of the people is very clear. And are you going to subdue the 71% of that parliament by 0.2%, which other parties have? NRM represents the whole of Uganda as a whole. But you look at a party like CP, where is CP refined? Rubaga is where CP is. You look at Justice Forum, where is it? It's all in Machinde.
Well, let's on Friday, the NRM said it used Rule 50 to arrive at the 6 seats. What does Rule 50 entail?
Rule 50, let me read it to you verbatim. Rule 50 says the National Assembly of each partner state shall elect, not from among its members, 9 members of the Assembly, who shall represent as much as is feasible the various political parties represented in the National Assembly. But it goes further to say the shades of opinion, gender and other special interest groups in that partner state, in accordance with such procedure, as the National Assembly of each state may determine. You see, these are very key, very key points which are not being looked at. One, as is feasible, and one, in accordance with such procedure, as National Assembly of each state may determine. And that is what we're doing through the parliament.
So the NRM is justified in asking for 6 seats and leaving only 3?
Absolutely. Because it reflects the will of Ugandans.
Well, Ugandans seem to say different. Honorable, we just have a few minutes, so let's go to the next question. Like you have seen in the just concluded feature, law minds are saying that the opposition can still go back to court under Article 38 if the impasse continues to see what is likely to happen in terms of Uganda's. What do you think will happen in terms of opposition and IALA?
Well, the NRM is a very law-respecting party. And if they want to go to court, we shall go to court with them. And I'm very positive the courts will make a decision that will not be against NRM at the end of the day.
So what happens next?
We go for elections. We have already done our nominations today. Tomorrow we are going for the primaries, and we are going to be preparing for the 30th, and we are going to conduct the elections. And I'm very sure that other parties are going to join us. The independents, who actually comprise a bigger percentage in parliament than the FDC.
So you don't think the opposition's input or thoughts on this will have any impact?
Well, at the end of the day, we have to be realistic. There's no point trying to get something through the back door.
Well, thank you, Honorable, for taking the time to speak with us.
My pleasure.
We have been speaking to Martin Jito, the Member of Parliament representing Madi-Yokolo County. Now, for these and more issues that happened within the week, tonight we premiere our brand new political talk show, The Fourth Estate. The show to be aired right after this bulletin is incisive, topical, riveting and candid. Here is a snippet of what's coming up on the show after this news bulletin.
What are your facts as far as the process of the lifting of term limits is concerned? What have you heard?
The majority, even NRM, did not want it. So he realized that most of them are poverty-stricken.
What was your measure?
He gave them inducements. It is very clear. At Mosa Court is near here.
Okay, what happened?
Gave them money.
And
they were broke, and they said, yes, sir.
But I think
was this the caliber of parliamentarian that you had at the time?
Alan, do not. You talked of being simplistic and really taking this debate along.
Can I then educate this gentleman?
Can we get to the?
He's taking a lot of time saying the same thing.
But really for Obore to reduce himself to issues of bribery,
But isn't it a fact that parliamentarians were bribed at that time?
With 5 million?
Yes, wasn't that a bribe?
Do you believe people can be bribed with 5 million?
Even the 200 shillings you take. So what are you
if you do it at the monitor.
Alan, the issue is...
Let's hear him out. Okay, Chris.
So, the point is...
Okay, hold on, Frank. Chris, what happened?
5 million is too much by the way for an MP. They take 300. The point now here is...
How much do you...
Well, don't miss the fourth estate that will come right after this bulletin tonight. Now, most personal finance advisors will almost certainly tell you to save, but you may get to the point where saving could actually be impossible. With the rising cost of living and inflexible incomes, saving could be an empty song. There is, though, a way around this, and this is the issue for this week's Personal Finance.
If you're a parent, this is one of the most anxious parts of the year, school fees. But generally speaking, your salary is by no means enough, and at the end of the month you have nothing. Seriously ask yourself, how much beer do I take in a month? Or perhaps you gamble or spend on entertainment. Is it possible to reduce this?
But it is important to ensure that your cost structure is kept low. So if our lifestyle is of 2010 and our income is of 2013, I think we've given ourselves enough space for saving. But sometimes what happens, lifestyle is of 2015, but the income is of 2012, then you put pressure on your finances.
In the seeming unending cycle of incomes which are not enough, you could do something about it if you choose to.
So the key question to ask is, what can I do to increase my income? So if you're working as you're working with a large company, the best way to maximize income is really to be a consistent performer, willing to take new responsibilities, and such people actually grow up both by performance and they get higher bonuses and by taking on larger responsibilities. So people who are in professional career, the best way to bring savings is actually improve your income.
That is aspiration to climb the corporate ladder or using your skills for a few extra hours a week for those who can pay you the extra income. As a thought for the day, as you strive to better your income, be watchful to the snare of sacrificing time with your children and spouse. Family is priceless. Finding the good balance is indispensable.
Time for another break, but up next is NTV Sport. Don't go away.
This is NTV. 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 NTV.
Lined up to make them better for both national and international tournaments.
Nine teams entered this inaugural Women's Beach Championship held at Lido Beach in Entebbe as officials embark on a ladies' recruitment drive. The one-day competition had Doves claiming the title unbeaten. The final game against Kawempe Muslim Secondary School ending with a 2-0 margin on the score sheet. Sandra Nawete, however, did Kawempe proud as she emerged the top scorer of the tournament with 8 goals to her name.
They are actually very comfortable with the sand, and more tournaments that are coming, we shall be seeing a very good polished women's league around. The skill and the agility has been very perfect. So I thank their coaches for having really went ahead to give them the basics and the laws of the game.
The event was an addition to the game's growth, with the federation also admitting them to the assembly. 2 delegates are to represent them in the football supreme governing organ. Officials are now planning a national women's league starting next season.
This women's beach soccer competition, being the first in Uganda, provided an assessment process for the ladies' interest in the game. It was also an event for testing the referees' abilities. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Thank you, Alfred. Well, we do apologize for the technical hitches that are being experienced. Let's move on. And the Uganda Cycling Association is set to benefit from a long-term talent development program mapped out by former Dutch international cyclist Comrade Arabras. The program aims at working with a group of 130 cyclists, the majority of whom are below the age of 19.
Uganda's chances of sending cyclists for future Olympic Games are brighter than ever, following a partnership between the Uganda Cycling Association and a group of Dutch former international cyclists. The group based in Holland have committed to support the Uganda Cycling Association with equipment and coaching courses in a bid to enhance talent development in the country.
The coaches are very enthusiastic, but they lack experience and knowledge to really support talent development. But they're open for it. For extra training, extra support, so we're going to work on that. Second is equipment, which is a big challenge, like bikes, uniforms, shoes, helmets, so we try and see how we can support that.
A group of 130 young people are set to benefit from the program that looks at, among other things, to increase the training time for the athletes. Sam Poza, NTV Sport.
The second round of the National Baseball League got underway today, with Lugazi Rovers losing to Sharing Fighters in Zambia. The match was, however, interrupted as players questioned the umpire's decision and threatened to abandon the game.
Lugazi Rovers lost their second game in the National Baseball League as they went down to Sharing Fighters in Kampala this afternoon. The Rovers, who lost to Chambugu Buffaloes in the first round, started their second round campaign with a dismal performance, collecting 11 runs, one less than Sharing in a tense game played in Zambia ground. The match was also interrupted by conflicting calls from the umpires, which saw players threatening to abandon the game.
As one called a bulk and one hadn't seen a bulk, though it was later on sorted out. Being a tight game, you know, all people don't need to see people moving on bases. That is why they almost called out, but...
The league continues next weekend. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Let's move on to motorsport, and rally driver Duncan Mubiru, also known as Chikankane, has won the just concluded third leg of the National Rally Championship held in Misali, Masaka district. The upcoming driver posts the best time of 1 hour 40 minutes and 30 seconds to come ahead of seasoned driver Ronald Sebuguzi. Sebuguzi arrived at the finishing point 2 minutes and 6 seconds after Mubiru. Rwandan driver Christakis came third 35 seconds after Sebuguzi before reigning national champion Susan Monge posted 1 hour 54 minutes and 50 seconds to finish fourth in the championship. However, event favorite Nasam Entebbe fell out of the competition after his car developed mechanical problems. And that's all the sport we had for you this weekend. Thank you for watching. I'll be right back.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, earlier we asked you in our NTV Weekend poll, do you agree with General Tafere that President Museveni has no powers to choose a successor? Let's take a look at some more responses that we received. And we start with J. Bosco in Mbarara, who says, yes, authority comes from God and not from the president, and it is not for him to find his own successor. Remember, people have to vote for you first. Another response comes in from Dickens Chove, who says, of course, Uganda is not a family kingdom, and worst of all, he is a leader of a government of the people, for the people, by the people. Everything within the confines of true democracy scorn this shameful and unpatriotic act. Omar Al-Islam says he can provide a candidate through his party, then compete with other candidates from different parties and let the people decide through elections. Oscar Nahamanya says, I 100% agree. Uganda is neither a chiefdom nor a kingdom. We can make our own choices. And finally, Dennis Wabui says, yes, this country is not a kingdom to be run by one head. All of us should be considered as stakeholders. More so, he belongs to a party that is said to believe in democracy. Thank you so much for all of those responses. Let's take a quick look at Monday's projected weather. Well, that weather report concludes our Sunday bulletin. NTV Tonight will resume tomorrow. Thank you for your company this weekend. From myself and the team behind the scenes, it's good night and have a blessed week.
NTV.